Hey, Soul Tribe. Mel, Intuitive Coach here, excited to bring in your weekly collective for the week of Monday, October 13th through Sunday, October 19th. Let's open up your energy field and take a look at the week ahead. Bottom of the deck, we have hobby. This is the undercurrent that is flowing through the week ahead. I have a feeling many of you have been working on creating, working on manifesting. But the message I'm getting here for you, Soul Tribe, is are you manifesting from a place of love or from a place of fear? Do you feel like the work that you are doing, perhaps in your career, your professional life, or even your home life, do you feel like there's a duty attached to it? Do you feel like there's an obligation or a responsibility that feels burdensome or feels heavy? This is a week where you are taking a look at what you pay homage to. Where are you directing your energy? Because where attention goes, energy flows, and that's what you are going to notice more of in your life. So there's this undercurrent here of play. There's an undercurrent of focusing on your creativity instead of feeling trapped by the loops and the patterns that have played out in your mind. So you are guided to have fun this week, to open yourself up to any side projects, perhaps new classes. This is an experimental energy that brings in joy and mastery because it's my Eight of Pentacles vibe here, where some of you are focusing on your creations, right? Loving your work, labors of love, if you will. The Eight of Pentacles is also about gaining knowledge. So it's important to be experimental this week and open yourself up to trying things in new ways. Now, if you have been wanting to take that dance class, perhaps you've been wanting to learn tarot, or you've been wanting to book a trip, whatever this is for you, it's important that you honor yourself, stand in your integrity so that your inner and outer world start to align and take action steps towards what these energies are for you. Now, Monday, October 13th, we have belief system showing up loud and proud here. Now, October 13th holds two planetary shifts. We have Pluto stationing direct after it being in retrograde, I believe, since the spring. So this is a powerful time of transformation and empowerment. You are processing energies that you've been feeling internally since the springtime, and they may be surfacing here for integration, especially around your belief system. So expect subtle but profound shifts around perhaps endings and rebirths. And that's why the undercurrent is hobby, because you are guided to perhaps step outside of a comfort zone in order for you to uncover creativity. Now, on Monday, October 13th, Venus also enters Libra. So Venus returns home. So this is a great time of relationships and balance and beauty and harmony. This energy supports mending any sort of tensions that you have with other individuals, even within yourself, and maybe even reconnecting with loved ones. This is a time to create more peace in your environment, and that flows into your belief system, because what do you believe about your relationships? What's your relationship with money, and what do you believe is important to you? What are you paying homage to? Because again, attention goes where thought flows, and I see that it's important to not let the loops, not let the default old stories that may be lies, that may be based in limitations, get the best of you. So this Monday, you have an opportunity to flip the script. You have an opportunity to ask, all right, what can I create? Not how do I fix or how do I solve, but what can I create? So you're shifting the hemispheres of the brain, moving into more of that right hemisphere of creation instead of the loops that the mind plays. Now, belief system is also about your higher power. So this Monday would be a really wonderful time to participate in practices that help you connect to your higher self, because this is going to be beneficial when it comes to your career, when it comes to your love life, when it comes to your health, really being able to tap in and strip back the layers of conditioning here, the layers of fear, so you can get to that soul self peace. Now, I'm also getting Hierophant energy here. So when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So some of you may be taking a class, or you're in some sort of training or learning program here, but you may also be the teacher. So this would be a wonderful day to get organized, just like a teacher would in the classroom, right? Getting organized here, but allowing room to expand, allowing play to show up, creativity to show up with structure. So there's a blend here of creation and organization. So use your time wisely this Monday. Time management is important, but also step outside of perhaps a routine or a comfort zone and allow yourself to think outside the box. So this Tuesday, October 14th, we have bliss. This is like the sun energy in tarot. So this is a beautiful day to get out in the sunshine, enjoy yourself. This is a wonderful time to feel liberated. This is freedom here. So what in your body is coming up that you are being guided to liberate or free yourself from? You know, what in your world do you feel is expanding? Because you are being guided to lean into this energy. Now, the sun is also an energy of playfulness and warmth and confidence. And I feel like today is a really happy day for you. You are leaning into not only what makes you happy, but how you can be of service, right? Because when you are in service, there's this sense of fulfillment. There's this sense of spiritual satisfaction. And I have a feeling many of you are light workers. Many of you are healers. You are here to help raise the vibration of the planet through your personal endeavors, your professional endeavors, but just by shining your own unique light into the world. It doesn't have to come wrapped up in a big old mission. It is just you being yourself, because happiness is your birthright and you are leaning into happiness. So Tuesday is looking beautiful. Now, Wednesday, October 15th, you have Heart's Desire showing up here. Heart's Desire Soul Tribe is activating the heart chakra. So manifesting again from a place of love versus fear. And when you are in alignment with your heart's desires, you really see a shift in your outer world. So you are seeing things reflected back to you. Instead of saying, I will never attract love, or I don't love my job, you're flipping the script here, especially with belief systems showing up. It's like you're thinking the opposite of those fears, and you're leaning into love shows up for me everywhere, and you're starting to see love show up for you everywhere. If you are struggling tapping into your potential, instead of saying what's wrong with me or why am I stuck, you are saying to yourself, how can I create? You know, how can I move my body to flow? And I see that there's a lot of choices that are being made that really help you align with your inner truth, your inner integrity. This is a really great day for relationships, for spending time with the people that you love and that you care about. This would be a wonderful time to focus on that creative project. And for your career, you might be opening yourself up to, expansion, rising above any sort of drama and shifting perspectives here. You're making choices from the heart. And because heart health is coming in, For those of you that have had anxiety or depression, perhaps you've been feeling lonely or isolated, I see that this is a really wonderful day to reach out, to connect, to call a friend, to talk to a therapist, or to spend extra time petting your dog or your cat and really feeling and embracing the love within, because when you start to shift that perspective, when you start to shift into more of that right hemisphere of the brain, magic happens, right? Magic happens. And I see that emotionally, this could be a charged week for you where you are feeling a whole plethora of different emotions, a lot of different waves coming through here of excitement and bliss. And there certainly could be bouts of nostalgia with that Pluto energy going direct. Again, you are processing a lot and you have been doing a lot of internal work, really paying attention to your thoughts. And I see that kindness is key, being kind to yourself, because that is part of your rediscovering, if you will, is through kindness and speaking to yourself like you would a scared dog. Right? Let's say you find a scared dog, because it's important that when you are feeling some of the energies around fear or unworthiness or lack, how would you talk to that scared dog? And start talking to yourself with kindness and compassion, because that's going to create a buffer of safety. That is going to create an energy here of security within the body. And you get to start reprogramming around that. You get to start really focusing on that self-love piece. And you see it flowing out into your external world. Now, Thursday, October 16th, we have rest and retreat. Be sure that you are checking in with yourself this Thursday. If you have been feeling exhausted, if there's been a lot going on for you, Soul Tribe, this is a really good day to take some time out for you. Maybe that is going for a nice long walk. Perhaps it's getting a massage. It could even be creating a nice healthy meal and sitting down and watching your favorite show or reading a passage out of a book. You do not need permission to rest. And that's what Spirit wants to remind you, that not only do you not need permission, it is important. It is a vital piece of your human experience to allow yourself to rest and digest. That is the parasympathetic nervous system, where it's important to kind of reset that nervous system, because you are not here to be in a state of survival. You are not here to constantly feel that stress, that worry, that strain, that anxiety. And that's what I see shifting here. That's why belief system is kicking off this Monday, because you're recognizing some of the inherited patterns or conditionings that you have defaulted back onto. And you're starting to live a life that feels more simple. You're starting to live a life that feels more peaceful. And this is a good time to relax. And you may even be contemplating travel. Perhaps you are going to a wellness retreat or just taking a little bit of time out to disconnect. This would also be a great day to not spend a ton of time on social media. Disconnect here from any sort of news outlets or anything that can come in and impressionate that mind of yours that you've been working so hard to keep in high spirits. So when it comes to career, it feels like there's not a ton of movement today, but there doesn't have to be constant productivity. This is a time to go within and allow your imagination to shine through. Allow yourself to come up with new ideas. We don't always have to be, productive externally. We have to allow our time to pause and to go within and say, okay, what is my why. Why am I doing this? Or how can I show up in my inspiration today? What do I want to create? And start to daydream. This is a really great day of daydreaming and experimenting. It doesn't mean that you're not being productive, Soul Tribe, but it means that you are checking in with yourself and making sure you're staying hydrated and that you are allowing yourself that downtime, because sometimes we get an autopilot and we go, go, go. And at the end of the day, we're just exhausted. So check in with you this day. Spend time with a friend. Maybe even go out to eat a nice, delicious meal or make one in. I see that you are supported here, and many of you have a trusted support group, or this is something you're making space and calling in. Now, Friday, October 17th, we have gifts. Someone could be celebrating a birthday on Friday, so happy birthday to you. This could also be an anniversary, but I am getting here more than just celebration, which, I mean, you are a celebration. Your spiritual gifts are increasing, meaning you are starting to trust. You're starting to uncover that, for one, you are talented, you are gifted, you are unique, and you're starting to peel back the layers of self-doubt. You're starting to say, wait a second, I am worthy of this beautiful life. I am worthy of creating abundance in my career, in my home life. I am worthy of helping others out through my mission and my acts of service and kindness. So Friday is a beautiful day here of gratitude. And if you haven't already incorporated some sort of gratitude into your life, you might want to incorporate that this week. I feel many of you do. Many of you are so, so very grateful for what you have. And you're not taking life for granted. You're not taking the people around you and what you have and the ability to grow and to learn and to evolve. You are a learner of life, and you are experiencing life to its fullest. That's what Spirit wants for you. That's what your higher self wants. So this week you're tapping into the energy of staying present, right? Because staying in the present is the gift. And for those of you that want to dive into that a bit more, check out Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, because it's important that you stay present. Wayne Dyer also has another great book. I think it's called In the Gap or Into the Gap. And you can find this online as well. But staying present and focusing your attention on, standing in your integrity. What is the life that you want to create for yourself? Instead of feeling like something is wrong, let's flip the script to what is right. What is going right in my life here, and how can I continue creating more of that? Because where attention goes or energy goes, right? That's where it's going to flow, and that's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to be on the lookout for. So be sure that you are focusing your energy and your attention in your creation towards love, towards inspiration, towards gratitude. So let's look at Saturday, October 18th. We have flexibility showing up here. Flexibility is about divine detours. So rigidity is not going to cut it this Saturday. So if you have plans, leave some wiggle room, okay? Because there could be a divine detour. So for example, when I went traveling to North Carolina a few months back, I had set out to accomplish a couple things, go visit a few places during the day, but the schedule was loose, and I did that on purpose because I know divine detours happen. And I ended up getting turned around quite literally by Spirit, where, excuse me, I ended up at this incredible little shop where I feel like I literally time traveled into like an alternate universe, but it was a wonderful shop next to this Moldavite center that I wanted to visit. And this woman had come out as I was about to walk into this other store, and she had mentioned that the store owner of the Moldavite shop was gone. He would be back in about 20 minutes or so, but that I could hang around with them in their shop. So my girlfriend and I went into this shop, and and it was incredible. We walked in and there were vendors of tarot readers and astrology readers and toe readers and vision board workshops and books and oracle cards. It was just this magical space where we went in and mingled with other like-minded individuals, and we learned so much, and we ended up staying there for hours and hours, and we were meant to be there. We were meant to get kind of turned around that day because Spirit had an alternative plan for us. And so allow yourself to go with the flow. If something shows up where you are being guided to take a left turn versus a right, or if there is a bit of a pause or a delay, trust that there's a purpose or a reason behind it. Now, this is also about expansion, allowing yourself to go with the flow. I could have resisted and I could have said, nope, I'm fine. I'm just going to wait outside this door for 20 minutes until the owner comes back and then go with my plans. But I would have missed out on one of the most incredible opportunities to connect and collaborate with others and to participate in, again, what felt like just a spiritual expanding energy. And many of you are being guided to tap into that yourself and to maybe even go to a yoga class because you never know who you are going to meet. This is about stretching the body. For those of you that do love to stretch or perhaps do yoga or breath work, this Saturday would be great to do so. And also get outside, get out in nature and take a look at your surroundings. Drop into your senses, because that's what I did when I walked into that room, that studio. It was like all of my taste buds, all of my senses, everything was activated. So allow yourself to open yourself up to wonder, okay? And flexibility is coming in because you are being guided to adapt this Saturday with the changing energies, because Spirit is putting you at the right place at the right time for magic to happen, for synchronicities and serendipity to take place. So on Sunday, October 19th, you have the shadow here. Now, don't be alarmed by the shadow. This tells me that there could be an old loop or an old pattern or an old thought that creeps back into that mind. And you have the ability to consciously interrupt it this Sunday. That's what the shadow is about. It's not about getting rid of it altogether, because shadow and light exist within us all. But it is recognizing when something is an old story or it's old programming, because this week you are rewiring. And I just did a talk on rewiring, so check that out. I'll link the collective playlist to the end of this video, but this is about taking a look at anything that is coming up for you, because when it comes up to the surface, it's actually a good thing, because then you can consciously recognize what it is. So if you have fears, if there are shadows, if there's anxiety here, perhaps around some detours that have come through on Saturday, and you're starting to freak out a little bit, like, oh my gosh, Saturday I met this new person, or, I had this new idea, but can I really launch it? Or what is that person going to think of me? This is where some of those old loops, some of those old fears come up, and you have a very powerful advantage this Sunday to rewire, to choose to look at the shadow and divert here, to do the opposite of what the shadow would do. That's why you have the light and the dark. You have the two felines looking at each other face to face. It reminds me of that saying, which wolf do you feed? Remember the theme here? There's a little theme of energy goes where attention flows. Is that how you say it? But it is about, what you focus on. And that's what you are going to see multiplied in your own life. So this Sunday, catch yourself when you're starting to fall back into, default modes, patterns, or programming, whether this is around trauma or buried emotions or addictions or even the ego, because the ego likes to be right? The ego likes to be in charge, large and in charge here. But when you're facing more of that enlightenment, you're able to surrender to control. You're able to shift perspectives here. And that's what I see you doing this Sunday. Now, there may be a lot of inner healing that is taking place and going on within you. Trust in your soul's journey. Trust in this divine unfolding. And for many of you that are currently going through a metamorphosis at this time, trust that it's bringing in massive transformation that is leveling up your life, leveling up your world. So it's not that you are stuck. It's that you are getting ready to spread your wings. That is what I have for you, Soul Tribe. Powerful week ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in and being here. Lots of love.